Baggedmilk, how you doing, my friend?
Doing very well. How are you doing?
Excellent. I want to start with which might be a bit of a sports donkey question to get things going here, but I was thinking about this last night when I was, and I realized, don't get me wrong, I realize that we're in a situation where we need to bring people up because of the injuries we're dealing with right now.
Yep.
But I was wondering, do you think the change in coaching also impacts the type of players that get brought up?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, especially with Jay Woodcroft being the head coach, because the reality was he was the coach down in Bakersfield for the last few years, and he knows these players well. He knows them intimately. He knows what they can do. Even at the NHL level, he's playing guys way differently than Dave Tippett did before him. Like a guy like Ryan McLeod is getting time on the penalty kill, whereas before he did not get any time on the PK. So, yeah, 100%. Jay Woodcroft is playing guys he knows. He's playing guys he trusts, and he's playing them in situations he knows they can handle. So 100% he's bringing up players that, like last night, Brad Malone played his 200th NHL game. That is a guy that, if you asked me, just my opinion, he's up because Jay Woodcroft is the coach. Knows him. He was the captain down in Bakersfield. He knows what he can do. He knows that he can PK. He knows that he works hard, and he knows that he'll be fine sitting in the press box for 2-3 games and won't get rattled by it. So 100% yes. No doubt.
I liked his play last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was impressed with that.
It was also impressive too, because it was his first NHL game in years too. Like there was a gap of years between there. So it was a great story for him. Like I said, 200th NHL career game. So good for you, Brad Malone. Carved out a little career for yourself.
Yeah, not too bad. Mikko Koskinen solid again last night. Do you think he's going to get more starts going forward here, or is this just the same old Mikko where he's hot for a stretch and then drops off?
If you look at Mikko right now, he's been on a heater since January 22nd against the Calgary Flames. The only game he's had with a sub 900 save percentage was February 2nd against Washington, which is a game they still ended up winning anyway. So over his last, handful of games, almost 8, 9, 10 games, he's been playing really, really well. Now, with Mikko, the deal is you can't overplay him or he starts to get tired and that starts to deteriorate. So I'm actually not worried about him getting more games down the stretch. I'm worried about what's going on with Mike Smith, because as much as he was played really, really well against Carolina on Sunday, I mean, the third goal that ended up getting disallowed was absolutely atrocious, but we can just ignore that because it was disallowed. We need Mike Smith to be able to handle some of these minutes, because we've seen over and over again, Mikko starts to get tired and he starts to break down a little bit. So I'm way more worried about Smith than I am about Koskinen right now.
I might actually have a solution for the goaltending problem in Edmonton.
I'd like to hear it.
I think they should go back to back. Boom, 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 boom. And I don't know if that's a strategy that they've already sort of adapted, because it feels like they're trying to do that. But I think that they should do that, because both of them are not clear number ones.
Right.
And I think it would benefit both of them, in my opinion. And I think that that's how they should finish off the regular season.
They kind of did that, well, not quite back-to-back 1-1-1-1. They kind of did it last year, almost. It was very, very much like Mikko would play 2, Mike Smith would play 2, Mikko would play 1, Mike Smith would play 2, and vice versa. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of variation of that down the stretch. Lock, I mean, we've got less than 30 games now, so we're in crunch time. We're down the stretch. We need both guys playing well, and going back and forth, flipping back and forth is what keeps them fresh and alert and able to stop pucks. And by all means, please do it.
Well, and they're in a bit of a good spot in the schedule right now for the next couple. Blackhawks, Canadians, but then it gets tough again with the Flames and the Capitals and the Lightning. So
got
to get some points this weekend.
This week specifically, I said it on the Real Life podcast I do on Mondays. Like, you have to win all 3 games this week.
Yeah.
These teams that they're playing are terrible, and you have to treat them like they're terrible. I don't want to see life vests being thrown to drowning teams. I want to see gunshots at their dinghy, and we can watch them sink to the bottom of the ocean. That's what I want.
I shouldn't even say this out loud, but there's no possible way that they beat the Habs on Saturday.
It's just one of those ones where it just seems like a gimme, right? It just seems like it's supposed to be a lot.
It can't happen because of me. It's my involvement in this. Like, it's the one game I will want them to win all year I would rather them win that game than the Stanley Cup final, and they'll lose because of that.
I think what we need to do with that is totally delete you from it. You can't talk about it. You can't tweet about it. You can't watch it. And
maybe that's the way I'll try.
Well, and also the last time the Oilers played the Habs, they absolutely dummied them in Montreal. It was like 7-2 or something like that. It was Evander Kane's first game with the team. So you would imagine that the Habs will be wanting a little payback when they're back here at Rogers Place on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, and they are a little bit energized right now with
Martin St. Louis.
St. Louis. All right. Nashville trip. We should give that a quick plug before we sign off with you, my friend.
Yeah, today is going to be the last day that you can get tickets for this Nashville trip. If you've never been on a nation vacation before,
they're awesome.
They're a great time. We have a really, really good time together. So today's the last day. We're going to have details up on the website here shortly about how you can join it in. But if you want some very basic details just to start, we are talking about April 12th to 16th. We'll be flying down to Nashville to go check out a game. And we'll also be having a viewing party the night before the game as well. So
and some barbecue, I'm sure.
Yeah.
so much
it's
barbecue.
A dry trip though, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just for sober people.
Yeah, of course. It's like we want everybody to enjoy some lime water and just really stay hydrated, maybe get a little vitamin D, but we're also going to be handing out SPF 50 to make sure that the sun isn't too strong for anyone. So we're just going to keep it real clean, veggies all weekend, and that's it. We'll come back safe and sound.
Awesome.
Baggedmilk, Oilers Nation. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Thank you very much, boys.
The Locker Room.
Brought to you by Always Plumbing and Heating.
Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.